Welcome to AltJake Takes On. Hello again, everybody. We are back. I am AltJake. You're listening to AltJake Takes On, episode number 29. I'm here with my buddy George, as always. How you doing today, my friend?
Doing good. Excellent. Thank you.
Nice. So shout out to everybody who tuned in to our first ever live show that we did yesterday. We're going to be doing that every Thursday. We're going to go around 8:45 p.m. Eastern. I'll have them loaded into YouTube beforehand so you can wait in and get ready. We're going to be in that sweet spot right after SC Maniacs and a bit before Dis is Awful. So you can kind of have your Thursday night live shows on YouTube planned out. We had a decent turnout for the live show, and a lot of people watched the replay. I don't think everybody was ready for it because it was our first one, but I enjoyed it. I thought it went as well as it could for being two guys who've never ran a live show before. We've done live shows, but never actually been the ones in charge. But that was cool. I'm glad we did that, and we're excited for the future. That'll be when we cover AEW. We'll try to keep AEW to that specifically. So if you have questions or things you want to talk about in regard to AEW and those live shows, at least for now, that's what we'll keep them as.
That works.
Yeah, I think so too, especially with how much is going on. We can kind of focus more on WWE and general news on these recorded shows. And then whatever we do for spaces, those are kind of a free for all with whatever happens, depending on guests or news, the world situation. At least we'll have NXT No Mercy to talk about this Sunday for sure. That'll be a lot of fun. And if you guys notice, there is a QR code in the top right corner or top left corner. Excuse me. I put that on there. Had a few people ask because we don't have super chats or donations yet of ways they can help out the channel. So that's a direct link to my Cash App. If you want to donate to the show and help us out, great. Do not feel obligated. I've just thought we'd add that to there because I had a few people asking about it and people want to help us out, which is fun. I'm very excited about that. Is there anything else we wanted to get into or any other show notes, any other housekeeping before we get rocking and rolling?
Yeah, remember last week when I opened up with the George Foreman grill?
Yeah, the Thunder Mixer. Yes.
Yes. At the time, I told you that I had two or three stories, but I only remembered the Foreman grill one. I remembered the other two midway through the week, so I wrote them down. So,
yes.
if you don't mind.
Oh, please. No, that's I put that Thunder Mixer clip up on its own. That thing got almost 200 views just on people are interested about that. That's fun. No, these are good topics. But
it was interesting. Again, this is from Bubba's interview with Danny Jones on the Concrete podcast, Concrete with a K.
With a K. Yep.
He was talking about something. He's like, and Danny was asking him a question, and he goes, I'll give you an example how important and what kind of a aura that Hulk Hogan had around him. There was a time period that he would go into surgery for, different things, his back, his knees, most of his knees at the time, Bubba knew him. So what he would do is he'd have the hospital make sure that Bubba could scrub and be in the operating room.
Oh my gosh.
To make sure that no one took pictures of his wiener. You know what I mean?
Okay. I mean,
so
yeah, no,
Bubba I think it was four or five surgeries. He had a scrub and was actually in surgery. That never happens.
Right. No, that's like something that would happen for like a monarch or a president or somebody in like the royal family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not. But I mean, at that time, it is. But when you think about who he was and the power that he had and just the fame, because he's obviously going to be going to the best possible doctors, so they're going to understand a bit more about it. And you can't trust anybody, unfortunately.
Just imagine looking at the surgery room, you see Bubba in the corner.
I was
not
just
doing anything,
just
looking,
and it's Bubba too. And he's.
I got a kick out of that one.
Comical looking. Yeah, I get to see him in triple XL scrub standing there in the corner.
It's so funny.
Yeah, making sure. And that's got to be, I don't know, too, of some people that don't like to be watched while they're doing their work or parallel park or whatever. I feel it's a little bit doing surgery here. I'm trying not to make sure that the guy's knees work.
He said he'd be scrubbing up to his elbows and getting
right.
I'm like, wow, that's impressive.
Like he's in Grey's Anatomy or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Funny.
And then the other story. This is the one I got a kick out of the most.
Uh-oh.
I thought this was funny. Well, not funny, but just you'll be the judge. So Hogan goes into not a doctor, but a specialist of some kind, and he wants to get this treatment for something. And again, I don't remember what it was. I'm sorry, but it was like $600, and he wanted to pay cash. Okay. So Hogan does the whole pocket thing and goes, "Damn it, I don't have $600. Bubba, you got 600? No,
you're right.
No, of course not. Most of us don't.
Not just cash on hand randomly, not expecting to go into it. Right. Yeah.
But
no.
Hogan goes, let me see something. He gets his wallet out. There's no cash. Starts digging through some stuff. He doesn't. Bubba says he pulls out this debit card that looked like it was like 20 years old. Like you could barely read the name on it. You didn't know what bank it was, nothing. He goes, Bubba, take this down to the ATM and get 600. I don't think it's going to work, but try what we can do. Hopefully it goes. I don't have any, that account's dead and Linda knows nothing about it. And then just sit there. Okay. So Bubba goes down out of the hospital, wherever he was, and hits the ATM, puts in 600, gives him 600. He's like,
no
awesome,
way.
Cool. Gives him the $600. And it asks, do you want the receipt? And of course, Bubba goes, of course I want the receipt.
Right, because it's not, yes, right, absolutely. So
he hits the receipt. The receipt comes up. He looks at it. He's telling the story. So he's looking at it and he's like, if you're older, like I am and Bubba, me and Bubba are on the same age. If you're that age, you remember when the ATMs in the old days, they wouldn't have commas. Okay, there's no commas. So
right.
He goes to the clerk at the ATM. He goes, do you got a pen? Yeah. He starts marking it off and he goes, holy shit. Okay. So he goes back in, hands Hogan the $600 and goes, oh, it worked. That's awesome. How much did I have in there? Like $600-700 at most? He goes, Terry? He goes, what's up, Sponge? You have $4.2 million in that account.
I was gonna say 3.5. I was 3.5 was my guess.
4.2 million. He goes, oh my God, brother, don't tell Linda about this. She has no idea she had no idea that account even existed. He didn't know there was any money even in there. 4.2 million just kicking in the back pocket.
Well, and it sounds like that card was like probably expired. ATMs back then, most of them had a $500 limit you could get unless it was like at a casino or set something differently. That account must have had like some like green flags or go, just give it what it wants. This account is like, it's like a American Express black card or whatever. Good
I'm not sure.
Lord.
Yeah, I'm not sure what kind of card.
I'm saying it's what
it's issued to Terry Bollea, so they know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when Cody tells the stories of Dusty, how he was one of like the 5 remaining Delta flying colonels, is that they like got rid of that promotion or whatever, but Dusty kept it because it was for a lifetime, and he always got, just special treatment because of that card. I'm sure whatever Hogan, I'm sure it had an expiration date on that debit card, but it's like, yeah, whatever, he's allowed to use it. That's funny. I'm not that surprised with him though, because with the money coming in, when you hear of the deals that he had, like that was probably the most interesting stuff to me on like what was like the death of WCW or who killed WCW on Vice, and different stories that you hear of what was in that contract. I mean, he was getting money hand over fist for just, you know what I mean? Like and if he's got multiple accounts going in different directions, like, he
went through some of that contract too. I don't remember the exact specifics, but he was like getting $1 million something for a pay-per-view, and they only had to do one appearance on Monday and shit like that. It was amazing.
And then if he was the main event, there was also a percentage of the house on top of everything else. Like that was, I mean, you hear of sweetheart deals, but that's the most one ever. And then obviously the creative control and everything else. But it's one of those things where
we've heard Cornette said it a couple of times. They would lose money every shirt they sold.
Right. Yeah. Exactly, because the way because they're gonna pay everything else through it, but I mean, for a period of time it worked well. It's just the renewal of the deals is really where killed them on it. But it's not surprising. It's definitely funny. I'm not that surprised when you think of it at the base level of Hogan. Like, yeah, he was on a level of fame and finance. It just he
Yes.
didn't understand what the real world was anymore, and clearly it didn't affect him. He didn't need the real world when you can just have $4.2 million.
He seemed pretty centered though, from what I've seen. On because he went through a period where he was calling Bubba's show like 2 times every show. There's a whole I've gone back in a couple of the archives.
Is that like post WCW days?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. He
was just calling in, doing all sorts of weird voice, trying to do impressions and stuff. It's really funny. But
yeah. No,
cool.
that's the stuff I've seen. I've seen a lot of that stuff on when you first heard about Bubba and Hogan as a friendship and whatever. That's funny though. We need I should have like some like our Bubba update music because great stories.
I forgot about it last week, but I knew there was something in my brain. And
that's a hell of a story. Yeah, no, that's
how I am at this point. I get an idea like in the middle of lunch at work, and I gotta write it down, or I'll forget.
Yeah, or I'll wake up to a random text. Yeah. No, I leave my phone on silent anyway. Text it, send them over to me whenever you think of it. I love it. You never know when a good idea is going to spark, or you'll say something that'll make me think of something else with it. That's why we're a team. That's why I don't want to try to do this stuff solo.
I just got a kick out of the fact he thought there was no money in there, and ended up being 4.2 million. That's awesome.
Right? Yeah, exactly. On a debit card that he probably didn't realize he had, and
nope. And no one even
there in the back of the wallet for a decade. That's fun.
That's good.
Right. That account, if it was a user, it probably gained a bunch of interest and was like making money on its own, just sitting there. That's funny. Can't be that surprised about it though. No, I mean, but that's our Hulk Hogan update of the day. No, I like
segue your way into Raw on that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to segue to the closest thing we've had to a Hogan babyface, Cody Rhodes, which I've said for years now about his character is he's the most pure babyface, just straight babyface character that we've seen since Hulk Hogan, really, because everybody else had a hint of the anti-hero, or like with John Cena, wasn't fully accepted by the crowd. I know Cody gets a smattering of boos here and there, but overall, I mean, people are singing his song, they're cheering him. His signings, he's always in the top merch sellers. His signings always sell out like within seconds. Like he's just a star, and he's just the best babyface and honestly, I feel like he's paved the way for a lot of people to be more of like a pure babyface that doesn't have to have that edge to him a lot. Like, I mean, whether it's Sami Zayn was doing it for a while with it, Kevin Owens before he turned heel. It's something cool to see where we have more of, where there is a clear divide between baby faces and heels. Because a lot of times that's where, that line will mix, or they're the cool heel that people cheer for, or, they're the baby face, but they're hitting people below the belt, or, getting the jump on stuff. And so, and it also works really well for Cody when he does cross the line. The few times that he does, it makes it more impactful, as opposed to like we talked about on other shows or other things where they just run it into the ground, or you overdo it and then it doesn't have any meaning.
He is so much better, and just like his dad in the chase mode, so much better.
I agree. But it's also one of those things that, like his dad, you've got to solidify his resume, where he's not just a one-time champion. Now he's gonna have. I'm not sure if he's gonna lose it before Mania, but I think he might lose it at Mania again. Did you? Speaking of, and I didn't grab a tweet or anything, but did you hear the news about Drew McIntyre? He's been been cast in the new Highlander movie.
That was it. Okay, I knew it.
Yeah, which is great. I mean, he's Scottish, he's big. He looks good with a big sword like that. I don't know what character he's playing or anything in it, but maybe he is the Highlander. I don't know, but
interesting.
That's the big Drew news.
Speaking of Dusty, stay tuned for special programming notes.
Yeah.
Theater near you.
We have got some fun stuff coming up for that for sure. But this promo battle was good. This sets up. It's still surprising to me of how soon was it Crown Jewel? Yeah, Crown Jewel is. I mean, that's coming right up. I forget.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I think it's 2 weeks. It might be. Is it
October 11th?
It's the 11th. Yeah, exactly. That's So it's they've only got 2 more Raws before that, so they got to kind of get into that. And that's now these are also those things where it's kind of an easy match to book, where you don't need to have a ton of story to it. It's champion versus champion. I wouldn't say winner takes all. Winner gets that cool ring, I guess, that Cody think for the first time ever busting it out. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure he was happy to have that, but this is the first time I've seen him wear it.
Were these two guys ranked?
In the PWI 500? Yes.
They were. Okay.
Yeah. Cody's number 1. Again,
I know.
I'm not exactly sure where Seth was, but I think he's in. I'm 99% sure he's in the top 10.
Yeah, usually he always runs in there. Maybe
number
top
8.
15. Oh,
number 8. Number 8. I would have thought he would be because of the title run. You know, it's one of those things of where it goes, which I kind of figure we can get into the PWI topic after we wrap up Raw.
I was curious where Seth was.
Yeah, no, I didn't read everything about the list, but I've looked into it a little bit. I'm always curious in the difference in people of, if somebody was, number 3 last year and is number 25 this year, like what happened in that?
But as we'll discover when we get there, the criteria is strange.
Yes, so. that I made sure to grab so we could talk about that because I've never, I don't really care too much about rankings and star ratings and those type of things of it. But it is big news, and this is something that good a time as any to dive into it and learn more about it since we're talking about it on air. I thought this promo was fun too when Cody said, "How you get your goods behind you," and Heyman's like, "I'm a goon. I'm a goon." I thought that was funny, at least with it. But they're setting that up to be a good match. I assume Seth is going to somehow cheat to win, or are there
they're going to do something weird.
Yeah, right. I think it'll be something with that in it because it just makes the most sense because the other one's going to be a babyface most likely with it. They had the tag match with Penta and the War Raiders versus the New Day. I don't know if it's New Day and Grayson Waller or if Grayson Waller is just part of the New Day, but
I think he's kind of working his way in.
And it works for me. It's something better for him with it. It gives him something to do. And as them being heels, plus I always love the idea of younger talent being able to work with and spend time with seasoned veterans and learn about the business. It's always beneficial to people that want it to be beneficial with. And I feel like Grayson needs that because there's definitely talent there. And he's great. He's a great shit heel, but the more veteran presence he can have around him, the better with it. But
the Xavier Woods character now is quite interesting. But
yeah, I like it. He's much better as a heel.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I definitely enjoy a lot of what he does with it for sure. And then Penta hit the Avalanche Mexican Destroyer on Grayson Waller. That was a fun way to end that match with it for sure. The one segment I wanted to make sure that we did talk about was Stephanie Vaquer cutting a pretty good. Again, English is her second language, and she's really only spent the last year and a half putting a ton of effort into speaking English, and she does it very, very fairly well. There's a couple times where there's slips, but she gets her point across. She connects with the audience, like the stuff about her father. Obviously with me and my father passing away when I was in my early 20s, it means more to me personally. It's one of the reasons I'm a giant Cody fan too. But like if that stuff doesn't connect with people, I just really, you know what I mean? Like inside, I feel like they worked really well with it, and I assume it's going to be her versus Tiffany at Crown Jewel, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. Tiffany's hurt or something, isn't she? Something weird.
No, I think that was part of their angles with it, as far as because she's in the match tonight on SmackDown, as far as I know. Now, if she loses that, then maybe she was hurt. I thought it was just more of an angle so she could either have a little bit of time off or film something. I'm not really sure. As far as I know, like seeing from shout out to Nick LaPiccolo, the agent, he said that she wasn't injured. And so far he's batting 1,000 as far as I know. So we had another instance of Bayley going nuts, snapping on Lyra Valkyrie after the match. Shout out to Dr. Gina from our Spaces. Was it 2-3 weeks ago now? She kind of told us where they could possibly go with it and the ideas of what Bayley's, breakdown and mental unravel would be like. And it's fun to watch now knowing what Dr. Gina told us. I thought that was
what to look for and everything.
Yeah, and you could see it because there's points where she's fine, and then like her eyes kind of change and then she snaps. Like, I don't know, it's enjoyable to watch. And like you said previously, it's really kind of helping to get Lyra more involved and get more people behind her because she's a great wrestler and great in ring, but there hasn't been that connection with everybody yet. And I feel like that's happening more through this, which is really what Bayley's role should be at this point. More of like what do you want? Like a player.
Yeah, but she needed a refresher anyway.
She
was getting way too old.
Absolutely. Plus, when you have that longer career, it's cool that she can kind of fall back on it where the previous personas are battling with each other. And you know what I mean? Like it works really well. I enjoyed that.
How thick are those soles in the bottom of her sneakers?
That Lyra always has those. They got the
Never
chunky,
noticed that before.
They call it chunky. I said, yeah, every time she comes if she's not wrestling, she's in some sort of, but they're like that. They're not high heels. They're like elevated. Usually they're elevated sneakers. Yeah. It's her thing. I also enjoyed Dom throwing JD to the wolves. Dom is definitely breaking away from Judgment Day sooner than later. It feels like it's going to turn him into a baby face, but he's still doing chicken shit stuff. Like where they had the backstage segment where, Finn was giving him shit and then he convinces JD to have his back. And they're like, I'll go talk to Pierce. Already talked to him. You got a match with Rusev coming up later tonight. And he's like, what? I thought that was great. I thought that was done and even Raquel and Roxanne were like, yeah, JD, you got to help him out. You got to have his back. And the moment that Dom says that, they're both like, oh, deuces, I'm out. And they both left. And then Dom doesn't try to help JD
he's trying to help match. There. He's trying to help.
He just comes up and then goes back out. Yeah, no, he totally chickens out, which is great. Is he going to be a chicken shit baby face? I don't know. I'm not
that. You can't.
Yeah, I know.
Either you go all in or you stick with this.
Yeah, I just feel like you got to break away. I feel like he'll stay a heel, but it just seems like he's breaking away from the Judgment Day,
unless for some weird fucking thing they do. Judgment Day turn baby face and he stays heel. That would be weird.
I mean, they could. If you bring back Finn Balor's NXT music and you have that character as Finn, you saw it at NXT Homecoming, like. That works and gets him over. And that's also too that character, like Finn works when he just talks a little less. Like he's a good talker, but he just doesn't need to talk as much. It's more as like the cool guy kind of situation, which I could see that. And honestly, with the way JD works, if you just tweak a few things and make that more babyface, people would love it. I mean, his guy's work rate is amazing and he can sell like Ricky Morton. So
yeah, people love him already. People love
right. Exactly. Yeah. No, you know what? I think that you were saying that might not be the way, but I think that might be the way. Honestly, that could work.
It could work.
It could. I'm not sure what you do with the girls, but honestly, if Liv comes back, that's
where you do it with the girls. Once Liv comes back, you make that turn a lot easier.
We just book the rest of the year for Judgment Day. Come on, Triple H, add us to that hiring team. I would sit in those meetings. That'd be fun. I'd be on Unreal. More stuff with Jey Uso and LA Knight. One of them is turning heel sooner than later. I'm just not sure where they're going with it, but fun to see. It's interesting. It's giving more layers to Jey, which I actually like. I feel like that's
he's starting to need it too because it's starting to wear off.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree, and I feel like that's the best way to kind of do it and add it to it is to have him either turn heel or just do stuff like this. Yeah, but I just want to at least cover that. And then the main event was excuse me. The main event was Rhea Ripley defeating Asuka. But then at the end, Asuka and Kyrie, well, mostly Asuka convinces Kyrie to attack Rhea. They give her the mist, and then Io comes down and they beat the snot out of Io. Not surprising, was kind of expected. You knew it was coming, but I thought it was a good way of doing it. I was still wondering if it was going to have the moment where Kyrie either snaps or is the one in charge or whatever, but they're running with it where Asuka's bullying Kyrie around, which works. I mean, Kyrie sells it very well. It's interesting. I enjoy it. But
I just wish Asuka wouldn't do that whole yelling Japanese thing.
Yeah, I feel like they must want to do that with. I know like some people. I agree, and I don't think it's not so much weird to me as I just think it's overdone. You know what I mean? Like they just do too. And I mean maybe that's to them. That's what they want to do. That's their version of it. Like that's because I know if it was under Vince, I would make more of like the claims of racism and what Vince because he would stereotype people. But that they're getting a lot more freedom these days from Triple H and the writing team, and so there's. you know, like there's obviously must be what they want to do with it. I would assume, and so it's just.
Yes.
I agree with you. I would agree with you. I just think it's a little bit too overdone, is the way I'd put it. But I'm excited to see them fully being heels and where it will go with the storyline. And I assume we're gonna get Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors, which will be a great tag match. I'm not sure.
Did you notice when Asuka blew the mist that she actually blew spit at her?
No, I did not. I did notice how I mean, she got a lot on Rhea like that.
Yeah.
That wasn't like the old was it when Julia Hart would do it and miss people?
Yeah, she got it, but she also,
I
mean, they must have had, I gotta think that whatever she used, a balloon or a condom, whatever, when she spit it out, she spit.
Okay.
As long as the mist, but you see it on replay, the mist goes out, then there's like a loogie being tossed.
All right. No, I didn't watch it. I normally I watch most things twice just so I can have a better idea to talk about it. Yeah. But it's a good Raw. I think Raw's
better,
heating up very well. Definitely was better than and you know, they've got another PLE to kind of promote, especially with that one too. That's the Australia one, so you've got to really promote those because that's early start times for us here in the States.
I think it's 7 for me or 6 for me. I don't even know.
I would think 6 because I would think it'd be 4 for me. Yeah, because it's gonna be
8 a.m. Eastern. No, 7 a.m. 8 a.m. Eastern. So it's 7 for me. I don't know what it is. All
right, well, hang on. Let's look it up. WWE.
I think it's 8. Maybe it's 7. Maybe it is 7.
Just look.
I'm talking while you're filling. So
read but 8 a.m. Eastern for the main card.
Right the first time, 7 o'clock.
8 a.m. Eastern, yeah. And then so I would assume the pre-show is probably 2 hours of that. But yeah. Yeah, United States Eastern time, 8 a.m. And that's not as bad. I thought it was more like 2 or 3.
No, that's you're good there.
Yeah, that's 5 a.m. for me. Still a little rough, but I can make things work a little bit better with it.
I'm not getting up to watch it.
No,
wake up. But
yeah, but it's just easier to avoid social media for sure. But that's it'll be an interesting show.
Yeah, you want to hop into the PWI shit?
Yep,
now?
That's where I was. You read my mind. I was like, since we brought it up, we might as well get into at least the main. We'll talk at least about the top 25, give or take. That's
yeah.
Because
criteria is the key to this whole thing. So
yeah, so and here it is. I know first up, they're basing off their time frame, which is August 1st to July 31st. Which, I always is that. I don't know why they don't just do January to January.
Yeah, it's an odd choice.
Why it's got to be like a fiscal year. But yeah, so it's in-ring achievement, so win-loss records, championships, tournaments won, influence, so visibility and prestige within a promotion and or industry, which I mean right there is basically why Cody's number 1. I mean, he's everywhere all the time for them. And was just in the Naked Gun and is going to be in Street Fighter. Like these are major franchises.
But think about it. If he was busy filming all this stuff and he didn't have enough matches, he wouldn't be number 1.
This is true. That's true. And that's where, he's only had a cameo in the one movie. I was just talking more of like where he's everywhere with it. And that's, but that's probably why I haven't looked at the list, but I mean, I've seen the top 10 and MJF is not on that. And I think that you nailed it with why he wouldn't be, because he doesn't have enough matches. And we just talked about it yesterday where he's going away again to film another movie. And, he's seems like he's not filming cameos or filming short parts. Like Cody was gone for 4 or 5 weeks. For Street Fighter? How long was Max gone for Happy Gilmore 2? I feel like that was 3 or 4 months.
He was gone for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So then you got technical ability, competition. So like, success against the most varied and highest quality opponents. Okay. Activity, minimum of 10 singles matches, or barring this 6 such matches in separate months. So basically non-tag matches is what they're looking for, mostly for singles wrestlers. The committee, what is it? Al Castle, Brian R. Solomon. Okay. I trust his opinion. Harry Burkett, Righteous Reg. I don't know about him as much. Kristen Ashley, Candice Cordelia, Jason McVeigh, and Kevin McElvaney. Yep, Kevin McElvaney. So then you've got That's it. I mean, that's the basic because there's special thanks and then there's a note to it. So in-ring achievement, influence, technical ability, competition, activity. Those are your main criteria from August 1st to July 31st of this. August 1st last year, July 31st of this year. The top 10 are as follows: Cody Rhodes, Jon Moxley, Gunther, Hangman Page, Hiroki Goto, Jey Uso making number 6 was pretty impressive to me. Swerve Strickland number 7, Seth number 8, Mystico. Yeah, I mean, well, he's a big star, and I know he is. It just, I don't know. I mean, and then Will Ospreay is number 3.
I can right off the bat, I can see why Cornette would be pissed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, putting Moxley number 2. I mean, technical ability. I mean, I'm sorry, but every single one of his matches,
we've heard it before. He's terrible in the ring.
He is. He is, good. And that's why every single match immediately goes to the outside and then immediately starts doing whatever violent things they can do to make it more palatable. Yeah, no, and all of his matches are basically the same. His moves look stupid, like not stupid, but they don't look like they hurt. You know, the bulldog choke isn't that bad, especially like over Gunther.
I don't like that.
No, I don't either. And Hangman Page, I mean, I get that he is but he only recently won the title. He only won the title in July. You know,
this is interesting, actually.
Yeah, so he only had the title for a couple of weeks before the end of the evaluation period. So it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me there. I can't speak much for New Japan. I don't watch a lot. We we need to get Marie Shadows in for this. We can bring her on at some point and break this down for us of people that we don't know as well. Because I know I've heard the name.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
think they try to be nice and include everybody. That's
no, they've got to. And I mean, he's obviously got their main title there, so
they got to.
Yeah, if their reader base, if there's a reader base of New Japan fans, then I would say yes. And I would think at this point, I mean, how many people are subscribing to magazines? I know it's by all digital anyway, but it's just, I mean, they're releasing this now in September and they're calling it their December issue. So it's like they're doing anything else.
Right.
You know, I mean, at this point, they're probably quarterly. Jey Uso being number 6 makes a lot of sense, you know, with where his rise. He had the big Mania match. He didn't hold the title for long, but I mean, he's stupidly over. He connects with the audience. We were just saying he's starting to get a little stale, so we'll see where they go with that. I'm hopeful that they'll, like I said, either have him turn heel or do something more with him. You know, I would like to see.
I hope so.
I think they are. I feel like they are.
I don't agree with him being 6 at all, but that's fine.
Yeah, I get you.
That's a
Swerve Strickland took a big drop. I think he was number 2 last year, and now is number 7.
He shouldn't even be in the top 10 this year.
I mean, when was the last time he had the title? They have him holding.
When was the last time we saw him on TV?
Right?
You got to think about it. So that's not good.
The paper, was it the pay-per-view where he and Ospreay both got hurt? You know, like and I mean, he has the charisma and he could be a big star, but they're not on TV enough, doesn't have enough big wins, you know, and all their matches go instead of having matches that you could get 3 or 4 more matches on the card. If you made them shorter and get more people actually over, but you have every match going 25 minutes. Seth Rollins being 8, I would think I would put him above. I mean, obviously Moxley too, but I'd put him where Hangman is essentially in my eyes.
Yeah. He'd be close to right behind Gunther.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Right. Mystico, I don't know too much about. I know the name. I know Dave Meltzer thinks he's a big star.
He is.
Yeah. I don't watch it.
That stuff MJF and Mystico did was.
That's true.
It was big.
That's true. And didn't he just win the title back from MJF before the? Yeah. Because he had to drop that belt and then he lost at the pay-per-view so he can go film his movie. I'm not sure which movie it is. Will Ospreay, great. He's a lot of fun to watch in the ring when he's pulling off all of his moves. The technical people love him, but I mean,
if you got Hangman where you got Hangman, Ospreay should be where Hangman is.
Yeah, I would. I agree with you. And now it's one of those things like, which belt is he holding there? There's too many belts, and that's where that to me takes a bit away from the like the prestige and influence, because there's too many belts, everybody's got one, and yeah, I don't know. And then I like this one because the path to number one for Cody, how 172 in 2007, he was like definitely mid-card, mid-tier, and then last year 2024 was number one. And I forget the list, but I saw it of people that were PWI number one back-to-back years, and it was like Bret Hart, The Rock, Stone Cold, Hogan. Yeah, that's a very small list, and I thought that was cool. Yeah, I don't. John Moxley, ring style brawler. Yeah, no shit. The rest of the 25, we've got Kazuchika Okada at 11. Are you kidding me?
That's generous.
It's beyond generous. I hadn't looked at this list yet. This is the first time I'm looking at this part. I just wanted to make sure the pictures were cleared up. Wow, I didn't realize Okada
oh my
was
goodness,
11.
Zack Sabre at 13. That's above CM Punk. That makes okay.
I'll give it to him that he won their world title last year. I get where they're coming from. I don't agree with it either. I think CM Punk, I mean, especially if we're talking about 2024, he had match of the year with Drew McIntyre and feud, or not, maybe, I don't know if you want it. I think that was match of the year, and I also think it was feud of the year of last year. And I did not have, that's Punk at 15, but
I do not. By the way, I do not like the fact they put women in this list, because women have their own list.
I was gonna say there should be,
women have their own. Women have their top 250, so they shouldn't be in the men's. They shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to have the PWI 500 and then the PWI 250, and then for Ben. Yeah. No, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Joe Hendry at 12. I mean, that actually works, I think, for me, because he had a big year. But he hasn't been in WWE full time yet. I think next year he'll make the top 10. Obafemi's definitely making the top 10 next year. But yeah, I mean, like Takeshita, like Okada being at 11, my brain still can't comprehend.
Okada should be down at 17. Takeshita should be where Okada is.
Yeah, and then Jacob
switch out just the same promotion wise,
right? No, again, and if you are trying to get the right people in the promo, you're trying to appease everybody. You got a good point there. But I mean, like Jacob Fatu at 20. Are you what? I don't
know.
I mean, just
Braun Breaker at 24, but Braun Breaker at 24 was the major one for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just some of this stuff doesn't make, and I mean, I guess some of it they want to drive, conversation and be in the news with it.
They're doing it.
Yeah, no, you're right. We brought it up here. We're talking about it, but it's interesting. But you look at some of this, and because I mean, if you go back to this, I mean, neither of us think Moxie should be on that list. Neither of us really know much about Goto. I wouldn't put Swerve on this list. If you're going to put Hangman on there, he's maybe 10th, but I wouldn't. So if we take off 1, 2, 3, 4 spots from there, we got a lot more that we can move around. You know what I mean? CM Punk should probably be 10 or 11. Trick Williams, I mean, there was a point where he had the NXT title earlier in the year, and then he's had the TNA title now too for a while. He's carrying that brand. He's a star, whether it's, I know it's not the biggest.
I guess
brand.
I understand that a little more because it's NXT.
I do. Yeah. I'm trying to reason. I'm just thinking Bandito as a singles has really only done stuff in Ring of Honor. So
yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? There's a little bit. Yeah. There's a lot of this that's, I mean, if you're going to try to tell me that Ring of Honor, I mean, PWI, they're trying to say Ring of Honor is more important than NXT. Come on, Nick Nemeth actually makes a lot of sense where he's at. I feel like, because he did do a lot of good stuff in TNA and was their champion and dropped the belt to Joe and stuff. But I mean, number 26, I don't even know. Ozawa. Okay, to Z. All right, yeah. So I don't know. I got nothing. I don't even know who that is. And then Vikingo, we've talked about him plenty. Where, he just doesn't really do it for me.
It's always
Briscoe making the top.
You got 5 different people putting in their opinion. So
that's true.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, no, and then and everybody's gonna have a different level of what they are caring most about and that, because that also goes back to that technical ability, where if you're just caring about the moves, you're just caring about the move. You know what I mean? You're not going to care about the story being told. You're also, a lot of those people don't care about the mistakes going into the moves that we've talked about before, where, you know, was it Pac will take 30 seconds on top of the turnbuckle, or we'll have Vikingo, or what is it? The other guy, is it Commander? Yeah, who like tries to do
Commander
the rope
walks
jumps.
the ropes. Yeah,
yeah, but he doesn't all the time. He walks the ropes ish. Sometimes maybe.
First time was impressive. The other times have been kind of boring,
especially once we've seen you fail at it a few different times. So that's just kind of where. And I mean, I get it. Like, it is what it is, but it just doesn't. I don't know. But yeah. I think the biggest egregious part is Braun Breaker at 24. He should easily be in the top 20. But there's a few different things on here. But again, driving conversation. I feel like Okada is gone there just from his previous career. It has nothing to do with what he's done this year. I mean, yeah, he's had that belt, but who cares?
Yeah, because I listened to the PWI the podcast, and they talk about how certain, like Solomon's got, I think it was 50 or 25 through 50 or 100, something like that. El Castle does the top 10. And then they get together. Then they get together in a meeting, and they discuss everything. So that's how it works.
That's interesting. I didn't realize that. I didn't know if there was. I mean, that makes a lot of sense too. Because I mean, how many people
can't do it all yourself? One guy used to do it all himself. So think about that back in the day.
Woof, that's a lot.
And I feel bad because I can't remember his name. He was just on a show, and I remember listening to it, and I can't remember his name. So I apologize.
Oh man, I because that's so many. So what I kind of thought is that people were putting in names, and I thought everybody would like rank their own 500 and try to figure out where.
And everyone gets a piece. Everyone gets a slab. Okay. Everyone gets a slab of something, like 100 through 150, 150 through whatever.
Yeah. No, okay. That makes a lot of sense, because especially too, like, I'm sure there's people in that list that are going to know indie stars better, because at some point you're going to get to people that have never been on television. Like, I saw Big Ben Bishop post that he was number, I think it was 304, 303, 304, something like that. And he made a funny video about it, because that's what he does.
It's good to be in there. I mean,
oh, for sure. No, I mean, you'd rather be there than not, if for nothing else, especially for the guys on the indies. It's great to help promote themselves, of just, even whether they're like where he was making fun of it to a point, or, you know, if you want to like put it over like that, it's a big important thing or whatever with it. But
so who's number 500? That's a big one.
That I don't know. Mr. Irrelevant, would that?
Yeah, because that'd be promotional heaven right there. If you're number 500, you can stretch that.
Let me see if I can pull that up.
That's interesting to me, because I would think from a self-promotion point of view, you could drive, I'm number 500. I made it. You can make a joke like you.
Yeah. I'm just hang on. I got it.
We're never going to hear him. We're never going to know who it is.
Let's see. Number 5. It's Cereal Man.
See, I figured.
And like cereal, like the food, not like cereal is like serial killer. Yeah. No. Oh, all right. So I was growing up to see the first name I recognized. 493 is Satnam Singh, and 492 is Crowbar. So I know them.
Still nice.
Yeah, that's right. I was just gonna say, I'm like, the fact that Crowbar is still, and it's that Crowbar from
same
friend
one
of David Flair. Yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, that's the PWI 500. All right, so I guess we might as well finish her off with getting into still the most fun show I have every week is watching NXT. This week they let off with I don't know, like it was the lights out match between
lights out match.
Yeah, between Miles Bourne and Lexis King, who are two of my favorite guys in the company or in NXT, just because, like I've said with Lexis King, Brian Pillman Jr., just watching how he actually is getting this and like becoming a good wrestler with good training and constant TV time. And Miles Bourne, I put him over to the moon and back. I just think that guy's great. I think he's got all the skills. I think he's using his disability to his advantage, and he's damn good in the ring. This was a fun storyline too. I'm not sure where it's going to go from here, because Miles keeps beating Lexis, but Lexis is also good enough where he can keep getting his heat, because he's lost a lot, but he gets his heat back, and he's still a little shit heel. And this was fun though. I love both these guys, and I'm excited to see where Miles Bourne's future is going to go.
Yeah, I've just started watching again, like last week and this week, so It's been pretty decent. I like watching it. It's fun. But
yeah, no,
I'm kind of busy though. But
yeah, it's hard to watch everything. You know what I mean? Like it's always going to be. One of the things about being on the West Coast, I rarely ever can start things on time, especially when I'm in Pacific time when it starts at 5:00. But what I can usually do is start like a half hour later and just like skip through the commercials, and I'll end with the live part. So that's usually fun. Ethan Page came out and got attacked by El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. But the moment he puts him in the ankle lock, it's like, oh no, that's Tavion Heights, which was fun. I like this. This is a good way of getting Tavion more over as a character by working with a professional like Ethan Page. I mean, we've been saying it the whole time. People, whenever anybody says, oh, they're going to bring Ethan Page up, you and I are both like, he's in the perfect spot for him.
There's a role here, and this is
and he's doing very well. I'm sure he's getting paid fantastically, and he's got 2 young kids, so that stability of not having to go on the road every single week. I mean, there's something to be said for that. And I mean, the guy's just a great. I got this picture specifically because look at his face. I mean, he knows the camera's filming in on Tavion, but he's still selling head to toe with every part of his being to get Tavion over, and I love it. There's that little shit like that really goes a long way with me.
Yeah, there's a reason these better names, older names that have been around a while. There's a reason why they're where they're at. I mean, it's obvious to me.
Right, no, for sure. And then like Ethan Page is clearly, a good teacher, coach, veteran. Yeah, that's what we've seen with who he's worked with. I mean, the first person they had him work with basically was Trick from right off the off, and Trick's been better. From that moment, he's improved. And so that's what NXT's for. That's why you need a performance center. This is what Ring of Honor should be, having and put it on YouTube. Then they had the Graces, Jordan Grace beating the crap out of poor Ariana Grace. That was fun. But you knew it was going to come out to ending up with Blake Monroe coming out and attacking Jordan because setting up their I believe it's a steel cage match on this Saturday, tomorrow.
For Saturday?
Yeah. It's tomorrow. Yeah, I literally thought it was next. I was doing something else, pulling up the shows, thinking it was next week, and then I saw like, let's say the 27th. All right. Guess I'm watching No Mercy tomorrow with it. So if I'd have thought about it sooner, I would have put together some sort of watch along or whatever. But that's 100% on me, y'all. But in future, I mean, NXT's really kind of being the show I want to focus on, at least for that. Oh, it's a weaponized steel cage match. I knew there was something more. There was something more to it because the two, Mr. Robert Stone, and I always forget the girl's name, the two, Ava underlings, since Ava wasn't there, so they were running the show. One of them was like, make it a steel cage match. The other was make it a hardcore match and combine them together, which I thought was a fun way of going about that.
I wish it was just one or the other. I don't like both.
Yeah, no, I get you. I get you. I thought it was a funnier way of doing it because they're setting up those two have been feuding because apparently that's a big part of Evolve is the two of them trying to run Evolve and being in charge. That's the show. Talking about time. I wish I had more time. If I had more of it, I would watch more Evolve. That's again why we're looking to get more subscribers and grow the channel. The more we can grow and do more of this, the more we can watch more of the shows and report them back to you. So please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Nice
to throw it out there. Try
nice.
To be smooth with it. Speaking of smooth, Lola Vice came out during JC Jane's promo and looked fantastic. Got a big pop from the crowd. Knocked JC out cold. All great things, but all kind of showing that she's not going to win tomorrow. But that's fine. You know what I mean? I believe this is her first singles women's title match, like not North American Championship. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it is. I think it's her first. I think she's been in triple threat matches for the women's title, but not a singles match. And it's great. I mean, that's perfect evolution for her. She's been doing great. And
yeah, if I have one minor regret for not watching NXT is that I never knew how good JC Jane was.
Yeah, you know what? Honestly, like I give her a lot of credit with it because honestly, when they put the title on, I had been watching and I just didn't know if she could do it. I didn't think she could do it as like the lead main in charge, but she's happily proved me wrong. I never have a problem being proven wrong. I appreciate it. And she has kicked ass as this heel, champion.
Just starting to recently watch. You can see the confidence. You can see how she just everything flows so nicely in the way she sells and the way this and the way everything just is really. I feel like it was impressive.
I feel like she knew, like, this is my chance. You know what I mean? Like, I can't. Here, they're giving me the ball. I have to take it. I have to run. I've got to score. Because I feel like if it somehow failed, they would have pivoted, and figured something else out with it or whatever. But she's done great with it.
When the group first started, when she took over the group, it was weird how they had Fallon Henley with her, and I'm like, well, Fallon Henley was doing pretty good with that whole cowgirl thing,
right?
And the group at first, the group was a little bit, okay.
Well, and because they were thrown into it quickly too.
They have evolved into a very dominant 3-person team. It's very impressive.
No, and even more so because it wasn't like they planned this out and we're gonna run and we're like, all right, now we're gonna do this and get ready, because they kind of got thrown into it because Mandy Rose got released because of the OnlyFans thing. It wasn't like there was a lot of time to prepare. It was kind of like, all right, no more toxic attraction. We're moving you now, fatal, and good for her. She was able to kind of take over with it, and she's been great with this. And I'm curious as to now who will beat her for the title. I mean, Lola could do, I don't think it would be tomorrow, but it's going to be a big moment for a baby face. So it'll be interesting of how they do that for sure. Then we had the tag.
Out of curiosity, what's NXT's like WrestleMania show?
Stand and Deliver. The one they do on WrestleMania Saturday. They do that one.
I couldn't think of the name. That's all.
Yep. Nope. That's but usually I'm shit with names. I got that one. Nice. But it's also too like there's certain PLEs. They don't do the takeovers anymore, but they do PLEs. I feel like anytime they do a PLE on like the big weekends, like when they did Great American Bash on the weekend with Saturday Night's Main Event and the Women's Evolution, like if they're putting them on one of those cards or like one of those big weekends, even if it's not like considered their wrestle, everyone's going all out for that because those are the matches where everyone.
Okay, I'd be interested to see if NXT goes to Australia with them or goes to Saudi.
I don't think they'll go to Australia, but I wouldn't be surprised they end up going to Saudi, especially for Mania because it's a longer weekend. That's a good yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I'm wondering too of how, because they're on Netflix internationally, so the more eyes they get on that, the more people that will watch, the better chance. It would be good it's always great for the talent to get that kind of exposure and experience.
Yeah, see, people in the States just see it on the what's the network?
CW, the CW.
Totally drew a blank. Wow. That's all we see is on the CW. Anybody outside the States sees it on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. Else.
So they're watching this. So they know.
That's a good point. It's presented just as big as the rest of it, and it is. It's like I said, it's the most fun. But it's not always the best show every week, but usually I have the most fun watching it. And this match was another example where they teamed Joe Hendry up with the Chase University stuff, and that was. You knew they were going to lose, but it was a fun, entertaining match. I like what they're doing with Joe and having him be kind of like a fun little gimmick now. And I think it's eventually going to turn to where he's going to start becoming more of like an ass kicker with it. And I think it's going to be with this TNA invasion. And I'm very interested to see how they do that with it. Which got us into the main event, which was Trick and Oba. I mean, back to the PWI top 500. How these two are future stars of the business. I feel like both of these guys will be in the top 10 for years to come. I'm a big fan of what both these guys do. They will. Right? Yeah. And I was glad they got to actually like have a match and not just have it be like an immediate.
No, it was never going to happen.
Right? But you knew it wasn't going to.
We talked about it earlier. They're going to get a chance to go for at least 10 minutes, 15 minutes, maybe at the most, and then get blasted.
Yeah, and I saw people bitching. Oh, they should have gone to a finish. I'm like, you can't.
There's no way. There's no way. They
need the titles where they are. Yeah, we
can't
we
go
knew.
To a finish. We can't
exactly. And when you see people complaining about it, I'm just like, I get it because there are too many matches sometimes that don't go to a finish, but there's other times where they can't. And this is one where you can't. But it was perfect. Like you had them go for a bit, and then like after that last commercial break, they start coming out. Like you can even see in this picture. Eric Young is there, the bald guy in the behind Oba and the ref there. That's Eric Young. And then Mike Santana got on the microphone or got on commentary. People said it was it was a full-on TNA invasion. The one that got me, though, that I didn't expect was, I'm looking for this picture. He's in the middle there. Matt Cardona / Zack Ryder. And they called him from the off, Matt Cardona. Didn't say anything, didn't call him Zack Ryder or anything.
You can't bring that character, bro.
You can't. No, and I didn't even, I thought they might even say formerly, nope, that's the complete Matt Cardona. I thought that was cool. And they had Kazarian, you got Moose back there, the Iconics, this is what we were expecting, the full-on TNA invasion. You got, they got not their entire roster, but a good amount of them out there. There's a lot of fun storylines that can be set up, but they were smart to end it with Ricky Saints walking past all that and just staring at the NXT title, and then these two facing off because, that is the main event of No Mercy. That is tomorrow. And this is still on Peacock, by the way, everyone. The NXT doesn't go to ESPN yet. I assume they will at some point, but that's part of the reason. I don't know if I'd assume that. I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, good point.
I think Peacock's keeping this.
Well, I think they're staying with this because the original Peacock deal was through WrestleMania
2026.
So I think and I know that NXT is honoring that, so NXT will be through there. I don't know what's going to happen after that. I wouldn't be surprised though if Peacock tries to stay with it, especially if they end up being the bidding part for TNA and getting it and getting TNA. Says they cross promote and cross shows anyway, and then having the PLEs for both companies on Peacock, like why not? It makes a lot of sense. But even if they don't, it makes a lot of sense to keep NXT as well, just because it's cheap content. It's great content.
Something to watch too. It's good.
Yeah, exactly.
I was liking the sit down between Oba Femi and Ricky. I thought that was pretty good.
Yeah, no, I think that's gonna be. Yeah, I agree. No, I think it's. We know Ricky can talk, and Oba's only gotten better with it.
Didn't they have the segment prior to this where they were actually sitting down talking interview style? Or was that last week? That was this week, right?
I think it might have been last week, and there was a highlight from. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
but honestly, I watched a lot of wrestling. No, I know what you mean though, and that's where NXT gives people these opportunities to do different types of segments or situations to get themselves experience with it, and then I'm setting up for the pay-per-view that's going to be tomorrow where, Ricky versus Oba is going to be the main event. I don't think Ricky wins it here, but, I do think he might be the one to beat Oba if they're going to send Oba up, but I'm not exactly sure when they're going to do that or if they're going to do that anytime soon because the rosters are stacked. It's where do people go? But this will be a fun show,
absolutely.
Briggs versus Evans will probably be the match that leads it off because Evans can put on a fun show. I like Josh Briggs, but I feel like he needs a mouthpiece. He's good in the ring and he's got good angry energy, but I feel like on the mic he just gets a little too excited and stumbles over his stuff. And maybe they just want him to practice that and get better at it, but I'm not sure about his.
So it's a fair split. It's a fair split. 3 men's matches, 3 women's matches.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's a good point. Now there's the Speed Women's Championship will only be a 5-minute match. That's got a 5-minute time limit, but still, counts. Yeah, no, it definitely counts. And then you've got the Women's Championship, and then the Weaponized Steel Cage match. Blake Monroe is a star. Jordan Grace is an up and coming star for sure. So
I don't want to see Blake Monroe get beaten with stuff. She's too good looking.
I agree with. Wasn't that the first ever AEW pay-per-view we watched? Was like her last match, the match against Toni Storm with like the glass. And we were just like, oh, come on. No, oh, boo, boo. Yeah, no, I remember that. We didn't I feel like this won't be anywhere near like that, but yeah, we'll see. I think actually it'll be Jordan who takes more of it and Blake comes out the winner in this, but we'll see. I'm probably most intrigued by that North American Championship match just because I want to see what Tavion can do in a big singles match. I think Ethan will help guide him through it. I don't think Tavion wins, but he could. Especially, it actually would make a lot of sense. And then can continue the feud with rematches and stuff. Maybe he does win it. Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, my most intriguing match besides the main event's the one down 2 more, which is the No Mercy NXT Women's Championship.
That'll be a great match. Like I said, I don't I don't know if it's the time to take it off of JC yet, but whenever they do, it's going to really make somebody. And Lola is right at that point. We've talked about it plenty of times. She's done the great work in AAA. She's gotten herself way more over when her music hits, the crowd pops. You know, she cuts a great promo. She's got fire. She's got that legitimacy with the MMA background. You know, she checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
So that it could happen.
I kind of have a feeling that unless something changes tomorrow, title-wise, they're going to keep these things running until whatever event you just told me. Stand and deliver. That's it.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean that's a
they're
going
to let them run.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to switch them. If they switch tomorrow, great. I think they're going to run right through.
Yeah. Well, they could. I'm wondering, and I mean that's a good point because I feel like the next big show after this is the Halloween Havoc one, actually in Prescott Valley, Arizona, but it's like 90 minutes north of me, and I would have to get a hotel and pass. But that, and then I don't know if they've got much after that before the end of the year because I don't know, and then beyond, and then you've got the TNA show in October too, Bound for Glory. So you're right. Probably right. There could be a change. And I think if there is, I think the one would be Ethan Page losing to Tavion. I could see that happening, but I'm excited to watch the show. I think it'll be I think all the matches will be great. I do think there'll be some surprises, but I'm not sure what.
Yeah, I don't know. We're going to get something.
Yeah.
We'll get something during the Obafemi Ricky Saints match, probably. Yeah, and maybe some hinting throughout the whole thing, like somebody in the crowd sitting there watching something.
Yeah,
like that.
Well, and TNA has a show tonight too. They have one of their pay-per-views that they put on the TNA Plus, and I forget what it's called. You said it earlier, and I can't remember the name now, but that's tonight. So there could be stuff off that.
Total Impact?
No, that wouldn't.
I forget what I said. I say it once, it's gone. Sorry.
No, TNA show tonight.
Turning Point.
That is exactly it. Thank you.
I remembered. I'm so happy.
Yep. No, and that's. I mean, they'll be.
Where is Turning Point and where is tomorrow's show for NXT?
Tomorrow's show for NXT is in Fort Lauderdale, I believe.
Okay. Where's Turning Point tonight?
Actually, scratch that. It's Victory Road actually tonight. And
I said it right the first time.
I'm looking at it right here. It's TNA.
I know, but I said Victory Road when I talked to you earlier, and I forgotten one different.
Don't worry about it. It's in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada.
Okay, so
not very close. Not very close. But I could easily see people coming down from. They're taping Impact on Saturday afterwards. So
yeah, so there's gonna be nothing happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, which is fine because there doesn't need to be. They did what they needed to do on Tuesday, and then it's kind of set up to be on TV, you know, especially with Ava was out, so Ava will be back. I'm sure Santino will show up on Tuesday as well. But that'll be fun. I'm interested in watching that. I'm gonna see if I can at least keep an eye on Victory Road of what happens tonight. Like I could see somebody showing up on that from NXT that's not on the pay-per-view card, but who knows?
Maybe. That's a long.
They could. Yeah. But either way, I'm going to be watching because like I said, NXT is the most fun I have all pretty much every week watching wrestling. And yeah, won't do a live watch along tomorrow because that's too soon or whatever. But yeah. And if people like to do the watch alongs with us, let us know. You know, if that's something you want more, I could see NXT, TNA, AAA being our wheelhouse. Enough people do the WWE and AEW ones. Like, you know, we don't want to compete with our friends. If anybody wants to invite us on or invite me on, if we're happy to join.
Oh, thanks.
I know I didn't want to throw you into it. I know sometimes you don't want to. You said that. But if they want to, I'm happy to join anyone else's watch parties. But I think TNA, NXT, AAA, those could be our wheelhouses because that's
the only hard part about those is length. I mean, normally our shows run an hour and a half. Our shows anyway. Yeah, it's tough to constantly talk for. I don't know how people do 3-4 hours. I have no idea how they do it.
That's the as long as it's during the pay-per-view and there's that to watch, I'm good with those. Because I did the AEW one. That was too long. That was over 5 hours. That was too much.
But
if you go from the beginning of the show you know, and if it's 3 hours, because most of the NXT ones are under 3 hours. I don't know exactly what the TNA ones are, but no one's going over 4 with these companies, and I'll be fine.
Right. Yeah, you're safe there. But
that's why I was thinking of those 3, you know, TNA, AAA, and NXT. Because I don't want to commit to WWE, because then you got to do like a SummerSlam, then your whole weekend's taken up, and it's like, oof. Plus, I mean, you know, Phil does them on PWT. The Toonie Talk guys do theirs.
yeah,
Wrestling
they all
Soup
do
does.
them.
Yeah, and that's their world, and that's fine. You know, that's why I'm happy doing the other ones, especially if there's the opportunity where those other channels aren't doing them, and there's people that enjoy watch-alongs, because I know I enjoy watch-alongs. So, yeah, no, it'll be fun. We'll figure that out as we go. But stay tuned. We've got some big stuff coming up next week for sure. Like George said, it's Dusty Rhodes related, baby, and I'm excited about that for sure. We're gonna finalize that, and we will be back on Sunday. So you can figure this out on Sunday for Spaces at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live here on YouTube this Thursday at 8:45 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, those are our next 2 live shows we got coming. We're just putting content out left and right, man. Anything else you want to talk about or cover before we get the hell out of here?
Everything looks checked to me.
Perfect. All right. So we will see you guys next time. Thanks, everybody. Peace.
We appreciate you making it to the end of the video. Please hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.